Back to the campaign trail, now where Donald Trump is still making headlines and leading in the most recent polls. But one place where Trump does not lead is campaign cash. The numbers may surprise you. According to the New York Times, Jeb Bush leads the pack with $120 million in his coffers, and Trump is reporting only $1.9 million. But my next guest says Trump has something more valuable than campaign cash. Mike Berland is CEO of Edelman Berland and a former Hillary Clinton strategic advisor. He joins me now with more. All right, well, it's no surprise that Jeb's got the dough in the bank. You know, he's no surprise that he's seeing the most amount of money from his fundraising efforts. But Donald Trump, that's low.
Well, it's interesting. Donald Trump talks so much about his money, just how much he's had and how successful a businessman he is. But his most valuable asset in this campaign is the wall of social and traditional media that he has built over the last 3 weeks. You know, he's talking about walls in Mexico, walls here and there, but he's built a wall that no candidate can get over, go under, or get down to the side. Look at this chart. And since August 6th, when he had 3 times as many mentions of Jeb Bush, he's left him in the dark. Look how big that gap is. Who's going to get over that wall? And that might be the metric of this campaign, Sandra. It might not be about money. It might be about what money can't buy, which is earned in social media. My day job is heading up research and analytics for the largest public relations company in the country, Edelman Public Relations. We have clients who would really love to have these numbers, and he's doing it by himself. And that's his most important asset.
What do you make of that, Senator?
I don't disagree. I think obviously social media is very important. We raised a tremendous amount of money when I ran. I have a substantial amount of Twitter, Facebook followers. It is the new medium for communicating with people in an instantaneous basis. But the campaign it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And what you're seeing now, I don't think is what you're going to see at the end of this, because you have obviously a primary. I don't think this whole race.
What are we going to see at the end of this?
I don't think it's going to be settled till California, because there's so many people. There's so many different ways that they divvy up the delegates, and I don't think it's settled till California. We'll see if the people get tired of what Donald is putting forth.
But as the senator knows, because he really ran a very artful campaign, it's all about momentum. It's about early momentum, and it's going to go in. And you had that momentum in your campaigns. And Donald Trump has built a level of momentum, and he's now built this wall, and he's built a wall around himself.
Can any of the candidates crack it, though? Because when they try, then I used this term yesterday, he spews invective on them. It becomes a battle of just name calling. And so they're afraid to really go after him. Like, go after him.
Well, that's their problem.
But then they get all the hate tweets. The candidates get all the hate tweets from Trump followers, and they don't know what to do about it.
Because we know that that's what you do with your 5 million people. You activate them and you fight back. Yeah. Donald Trump is not on his own. Look at put the chart back up. Look at the numbers of Jeb Bush versus Donald Trump. He's got 10 times more Twitter tweets going. He's got 10 times more Facebook. He's got 3x the number of mentions in social and traditional media. They are doing the job for him, Dagen. That's exactly what's going on.
And the fans are as angry as Star Trek nerds when you say anything negative about him.
You know, you're going to get a lot of Star Trek.
Not even anything negative. You say, hey, your immigration plan and your plan to build a wall, basically you are in favor of greater government, and people lose their brains.
Because these 6 million people have a voice now, and they're being heard, and that's what's getting picked up, and that creates this wall. They're going to fight for him, and what's going to happen, I believe, is that as this wall gets higher and higher, it's going to become harder for some of the other candidates to break it down.
Scott, isn't your point that he's peaking potentially too early, and it's the long race?
I think that's the question. Are his policies that he's now finally putting out, are the American people going to buy it, number one? And also, it is a long process. It's not going to be settled till California.
Michael's point is that he's running a race in an era that we've never seen before, and nobody knows how to run it other than him.
We've seen it with other candidates. Social media
not
has
like
been
this.
But maybe campaign cash will not be the metric. Maybe it won't be paid advertisements.
He said he didn't want it. He doesn't need it. He said, I'm not going to accept it.
All right, Mike Berland, we have to leave it there, but I'm going to go out. Let's make this easy one. A month from now, is Donald Trump still leading in the polls?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
After that debate, he's still leading. Come on.
But his numbers are down in New Hampshire and other places.
I just wanted to stick it to him because I know he'll be back, and I wanted to hear it from him. All right. Thank you very much for that. I got to break.